Okay.
Just 2 minutes, sir.
Okay, no problem.
Start करोगे sir?
Am I visible? You are on
You are
Zoom.
visible, sir. You are visible, sir.
Okay. And you can also see my screen.
Yes, sir. Effective classroom management strategies to enhance student success and growth.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Okay. The only problem I am facing, I am not able to see my video. I don't know. Okay. However, no issues. But you can see, right? No
Yes,
problem.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think last time few people got confused, Tasleem, right? They were thinking that the effective classroom management strategies and psychology affecting student behavior and emotion is going to be a one lecture, right?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So today's lecture will be once again. I heartily welcome Aftab Siddiqui sir for today's lecture, and I think so. Before that, sir has given the lecture, which was very effectful, and today he will be continuing will be the strategies to enhance and boost the success of the student. So I heartily welcome on behalf of management, principal, teaching, and non-teaching staff to Aftab Siddiqui sir, and I request sir to please proceed with the lecture.
Okay. Thank you, Tasleem. Thank you very much. So as you people know, this lecture was divided into two sessions. The first session was psychological principles which are affecting uh, student behavior, emotion, and learning. Okay, that had happened day before yesterday on 17th. And in that first lecture, I explained how psychological principles like cognitive factors and emotional factor, behavioral factor, and environmental factor shapes the student's behavior. Okay, so based on that, today we are going to understand, considering the first lecture, how you can design some effective classroom strategies to enhance student success and growth. Now, when we talk about this particular topic, there are two things. Okay, the first is external engagement, your engagement style, the way you deliver the lecture, what kind of things you can do to keep the class engaged, and secondly, addressing the internal challenges of the student that I spoke in the first lecture. So today we are going to combine the techniques which would be on external engagement style and internal addressing student challenges. Okay. So now, last time when I in the last time, if you remember, we have learned something. The summary of the last lecture was students' behavior and emotions are not fixed. Okay, they keep on continuously changing based on their thoughts, experiences, and environment. That we already learned how the students' behavior keep on changing day by day. depending upon what is triggering them, what kind of emotions they are getting, what kind of life challenges they are getting. Maybe they have some issues from their family, financially, relationship, etc., etc. So these all factors, since it is happening day by day, that constantly shaping thoughts, experiences, and learning of the students. That we got the summary. So in short, students' behavior that you see in your classroom are not fixed. It keeps on changing depending upon their thoughts, experiences, and environment. Okay. And in that, we learned that there are two types of students. Okay. I mean, the two types of you can say zone in which students live their life. The first one is resourceful students. The resourceful students are those students who do not struggle emotionally. Maybe sometimes they do get some emotions, but more often they are in a good state of mind. They can handle their emotion very well, and hence they can fully utilize their abilities. Like they can manage their stress very well, and they can keep them motivated and apply their skills. Like they can apply their skills like problem solving, critical thinking, decision making. Okay. So they can use all these skills in their academic settings and clinical settings. These are resourceful students. That means their emotional stability allows them to adapt, stay focused, and perform under academic pressure. Those are resourceful students who can manage their emotions very well. And second, we learned about some students who are not non-resourceful students. Who are they? They are the students who often face emotional struggle, which are hindering their ability to use their skills. Like often they get anxiety, self-doubt, stress about uh, their performance, about their academics, and these all factors, it blocks, it hinders their capacity to recall information, make sound decision, or maybe stay engaged in learning. Okay. So even if the student possess knowledge and skills, their emotional barriers prevent them applying that skill effectively in the classroom. Okay. So this we already learned. Now, uh, considering this, non-resourceful students who are often struggling with their emotions, okay, we need to see what the first thing that you can do. See, the very first thing for the teachers is to identify the non-resourceful student. Okay. Identifying means like how you can pay attention to the student who misses classes, who struggles with the assignments, or perform very poorly in the class. Okay. You need to be very much flexible. Don't just assume that these students are simply unmotivated or weak. Instead, teachers should have an approach that they should recognize that these students are emotionally struggling, and this struggle may be blocking their progress. So your first step is to actually identify those students and don't label them as a weak student or as a simply unmotivated student. If you go on Google, you can search. There is something called Pygmalion classroom effect. In Pygmalion classroom effect, that it was a study conducted by some scientists. In that study, uh, there are two group of students. One group of students are very much weak, and one are very much excellent. So these scientists, they did studied on the students who are very much weak. So what they did, for a few months, they just start motivating those students, like making them sit in the front row, calling them uh, on the functions and occasional speeches. Okay. They did some small reward and appraisal for that students. and they were amazed with the result. After 6 months, those students who were weak in the class, they overpassed the student who are excellent in academic results. So that's why I'm saying that just because student is I mean not doing assignments or struggling in the class, poor attendance, so it doesn't mean these students are simply unmotivated or they are they have lack of interest in studies. You as a professor, as a pharma teacher, as a mature person, you need to identify the students, why they are emotionally struggling and why this behavior they're exhibiting in the class. Then the second thing is you need to connect with them. Just approach with them with empathy, okay, rather than judgment. Don't judge that students. You can have one-to-one conversation to understand what are the challenges they are facing, whether the challenges are academic or emotional or some personal issues are going on. That's why today I do go for to schools also for lectures. Now schools are adapting this culture now. Every school is having an in-house counselor now, and even this culture is been adapted in the colleges also and in the companies also. They are having in-house counselor who are actually talking to that student one to one and understanding what is their struggle, and thereby helping them to overcome their study struggle. So the second thing you can do is, as a professor, as a pharma teacher, you need to approach those students with empathy, without any judgment, and have one-to-one conversation to understand exactly what the challenges they are facing. Okay. And the third thing you can do is you can provide some guidance and resources. Like you can encourage them to seek help through a personal counselor or a mentor or academic support system. Okay. If you if needed, introduce some cognitive behavior therapy strategies. You can call some therapist, a mental health counselor, to take a lecture with students so they can understand how exactly the thoughts, emotions and behavior interconnected together. So you can provide some guidance. Okay. And also you can monitor their progress. Just your work is not over in just giving them guidance. You can monitor, just check in regularly to track their improvement in attendance, engagement, performance, and offer some positive reinforcement for small achievements. So this will help the student to build their confidence and motivation. Okay. So till now, if you got this 4 steps, give me a thumbs up, please. Okay. So I can know I am just going. I'm not just uh, you people are getting the things. Give me a thumbs up, please. Thank you. So as I said, these are some things that you can do with the non-resourceful students. Okay. Now we will go to the overall classroom strategies. You being a pharma teacher, you people are already applying lot of strategies in the classroom. Okay. But here, just a refresher. Will try to give you some kind of engagement activities that you can do in the classroom. Okay. Now, very first thing is the classroom setup. Uh, you know, uh, students, every college students or school students, if you can categorize them, they fall into 3 categories. Some students are prisoners, some are vacationers, and some are engaged learners. Okay. Now, what are the students who are prisoners? The prisoners are the students who feel very forced to attend class. It is like someone is forcing them to attend the class, and they see the class as a punishment. They often get disengaged. They are passive in learning. They often feel hesitant to participate in any activity or completing any assignment or doing any kind of obligation. These are students who feels like a prisoner in the class. Maybe they have opted for the pharmacy curriculum, pharmacy career, maybe because of their father pressure, their family pressure, or maybe simply something is bothering them inside. So they feel like a prisoner. Okay. Second category of the student are vacationers. Vacationers are the students who are physically present in the class but mentally absent. They treat the class like a break, just enjoying the time without actively engaging in learning. They listen very passively, do anything very bare minimum, and they lack deep interest in the study. And the third type of students are engaged learners. Okay, these students are actively involved. They are very curious. They are very motivated. They participate in discussion. They ask questions. They take ownership of their learning. They see the challenges as opportunities. Okay, and this is helping them in their professional growth. So, being as a professor, as a classroom teacher, you need to structure your classroom to gradually shift prisoners and vacationers towards becoming engaged learners. Okay, like for example, see, sitting arrangements. If you see, uh, always the vacationers they sit in the middle. Okay, or near the window. Okay, and so you can just shift them towards the middle rows and just make them sit close to the engaged learners. So this will help them. This physical activity will help them to will minimize the disengagement. You can use rotational sitting also. When you enter the class, you cannot do it on daily basis, but yes, on weekly basis, on 4 5 days, after 15 days, you can just do some rotational sitting arrangements. Okay, this also keeps the student very activated. It gives the impression that this professor or this teacher is very much passionate. He is very much I mean uh, using approach which enhance our learning. So just twisting some kind of sitting arrangements also, this will help them. Like, and then closer monitoring for the prisoners. The prisoners are the student who sit in the last rows, corner spots, just near the exit. They are just waiting for the bell to ring. Just if the bell rings, the classroom ends. Just they just want to go out. So instead of letting them isolate and sitting in that areas, you can let them sit in where teachers can make eye contact. Okay, because physically, when you do some kind of this activity in the sitting arrangement, this gives a very positive learning to the student. Yes, now my professor, my teacher is very much engaged, and hence I need to be very much engaged. Okay, so sitting arrangements also does very well. Oftenly, I also recommend to school teachers as well. Just shift the students front back, identifying them who are the learners, who are the vacationers, who are the prisoners, and accordingly you can shift them a little bit. This you can do. Okay. Now, second thing, you need to understand their learning styles. Okay. Now, when it comes to learning, we there are three types of learners. Or you can say four types of learners. Some are visual learners. Okay, visual learners are the people, are the student who learn through visual things like diagrams, charts, videos. So you can use some flow charts to explain the drug classification, drug mechanism, whatever your subject is. I'm not good enough in that subject of yours, but whatever your subject is, whatever you're teaching to the student, you can use some visual things. Okay, if you don't have like PowerPoint, or you don't have any video learning material in your class, you can simply draw a flow chart on the whiteboard. Okay, this is how the drug mechanism works. This is how the some charts on that. Okay, how things are interconnected. So this will help the visual learners to take the things very quickly. Similarly, there are some category of the student who are auditory learners. Okay, what it means? They retain the information through lectures, discussions, and storytelling. Okay, so you can use some kind of concepts, some kind of stories, some real life examples, which keep them connected to these auditory learners. And some students are kinesthetic learners. As I said in the first lecture, day before yesterday, kinesthetic learning are more experiential learning. Okay, this type of student, they only learn through experiments like role playing. Sometimes you make a do some role playing activities, make some student as a counselor, as a pharmacist, and make some student as a patient, and then he comes to him, he asks for some drugs and everything. Do some kind of experimental learning with them. And the fourth type of students are who are reading and writing learners. These people, they observe knowledge through reading textbooks, summarizing notes, and writing explanation. So you can provide some kind of handouts in the class. For example, today is your lecture about pharmacology, organic chemistry, whatsoever. So you can just day before the lecture, you can have some handouts that you can give to the students at the end of the lecture, or maybe at the end of one subject. Okay, so that handouts will help the student to actively participate in the learning. So you being a professor or pharmacy teacher, you need to identify that my class is full of different learning styles. Some are visual learners, some are auditory learners, some are kinesthetic learners, or some are reading and writing learners. So when you understand this kind of mixture is there in your classroom, you can accordingly design your way of teaching in the class, so all of the students get engaged, right? Give me a thumbs up if you're understanding this. Any question till here? Any question? Or you're finding it very much boring?
No, sir.
Okay, you can relate it, right? It's
Yes, sir.
kind of, whenever you find any concept which is very much relatable, I request you everyone to just give me some emoji reaction, so that keeps me motivated also. Okay, because I am also human being, right? I also want motivation to get you people engaged. So if you find anything very much relatable, just give me a thumbs up or just emoji or something, so I can know that this is learning is going on. Okay, and then this is the first thing, okay, that you have to do. Sorry, the first thing is the classroom setup, then recognizing the learning styles of the student. Now, be passionate about what you teach. This is very, very important. Very, very important. You know, as a pharmacy educator, your passion shapes how students engage with complex concept. If you approach, for example, if you're teaching uh, drug formulation or any clinical practices or pharmacology with enthusiasm, student will naturally absorb more and connect learning to real life. Okay, the way you teach, your tonality, your body language. There is one of famous psychologist, he says, uh, 20% only our verbal thing speaks up, and 80%, 70 to 80% our body speaks. The way you deliver the lecture, the way you engage with the student. Okay, if if you come in the classroom, if myself also, anyone in the come in the classroom, or when I take corporate training also, when I go there, if I am very much like, hi, my name is Aftab Siddiqui, and today we are going to learn about how depression is formed. See, you feel like very much disconnected. It's a very robotic language. And let's say I enter the class and I say, "Hi, this is Aftab Siddiqui. How are you? You're doing well or not today?" It gives a connection. You speak very the same thing that you are speaking day by day, but your way of speaking, your tonality, your body language, it communicates a lot to the student. Okay, and you know about this. Passion is contagious. If you show excitement, even disengaged students will start paying attention. Believe me, if they see the teacher is very much passionate about teaching, even the disengaged student, they start connecting with you. Okay, so teaching is not just delivering information, it's about igniting curiosity and inspiring the students to become a future pharmacist. So your tone, your energy level, your speaking style has a huge impact even on disengaged learners will get engaged. Like for example, I'll give you example. Imagine that you are teaching about some critical medication, okay, and you are teaching that critical medicine, but in a very robotic and dull way. Student might memorize it in the classroom, but later on they will forget. But now picture yourself, you are explaining that critical medicine, and you are saying that do you know the reason why heart keeps on beating after heart attack also? Do you know what is the difference between the life and the death in an emergency room? So by using some analogical explanation, you can connect the student. Okay, it's very powerful tool. Even if you have a very little to explain in the class, but your way of explanation, your passion about the subject, the way you teach, your tone, your energy, it gives a lot to the student. They get connected very soon. Okay, and on the other side, if your concept is very much good, a very new thing or very interesting thing, but you present it in a very dull way, in a robotic way, it will disinterest the student. They won't get connected. So you need to be very passionate about what you teach. And this benefits what? Students feel inspired. Okay. Your energy makes even complex topic interesting to them. They get stay engaged. As I said, passionate teaching turns the passive listeners also into active learners. Their confidence grows. Often people, students come to me for counseling. They lack self-confidence and self-esteem. Okay, I have prepared a complete 2 3 day workshop on how to boost self-esteem and self-confidence. So often they lack confidence. Okay, but when you engage them, when you show passion in in your teaching, it will help also to grow confidence in the student. Okay, and also their memory power increases. The way you teach helps the student to retain the information very well. uh, I had been called to a school, okay, and that school, they told me this class and these students, their memory is very weak. Okay, so I said, okay, let's see. I wrote around 38 words on the whiteboard. Okay, for example, Bill Gates, water, bag, this type, table, and then I made a story. Okay, Bill Gates is opening the bag, and then and in that bag there is a table inside. In that table there is a newspaper. I connected the entire 38 words into a story. Okay, and I asked all the students to close their eyes. It was the ninth and 10th student. They closed their eyes. I just kept on connecting all the 38 words into a story, and then I asked them, "What is the word after that?" Within 5 minutes, they remembered all the 38 words. Okay. Even they remembered what comes first, what comes after. If I ask them, what is before the table? Before the table, newspaper. What is after the table? Bill Gates. So they remembered it in 5 minutes, 38 words. I didn't did any magic. I just used some mnemonic techniques, some memory techniques in my teaching. Okay. So you being a teacher, you need to identify there are a lot of books available on Amazon, how to memorize things. You can teach those techniques to the student. Lot of concepts are there. There's different lecture altogether for that. There are a lot of techniques in scientists has discovered. When you use that technique in your teaching style, it helps the student to remember the concept very, very well. Even sometimes they don't even forget the things for their life. Okay. So your passion about teaching the subject makes the student more and more engaged. And yes, it will create a positive learning environment. Give me a thumbs up if you understanding this. Give me a thumbs up, please. Anyone, any question? Anyone, any question, please, till here? Often I do a lot of lectures offline and online, and my way of delivering the lecture is morely I do ask questions in between. It gives me a satisfaction that yes, learning is going on. Okay. So although the this lecture has a Q&A session at the end, but if you have anything to ask, I'll appreciate. Please raise your hand. You can ask the moderator, Tasleem. She can allow you to ask the question. It will help me also to know that you are connected.
Anyone wants to ask question, please, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Please, please, you can we can do this in between. That's not an issue for us, right, Tasleem? It's
Yes,
okay,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir. No issues. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Because often what happens that the entire presentation is completed, then we ask the question and answer, so the people don't remember also ki kya puchna hai, what to ask. Okay. So in between, if we have any question, that will be a good thing to address.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello.
Yes, please.
My subject is pharmacognosy, and in that
Okay.
subject, there are botanical terms regarding biological source of the crude drugs, and it
Hmm.
is quite difficult for the first year students, first year diploma students to remember them.
Okay.
So, can you elaborate some techniques how they should remember them,
Can you
or
can you
which
say
strategy?
can you say any word? Can you say any word of that subject? Because I don't know any word of
So
that subject.
actually, this pharmacognosy subject, it belongs to all botanical names of the plants, umbilical
Okay.
officinalis, tinnivalicina, all this Catharanthus roseosa. So these words are quite difficult with the families to remember. There are 70 drugs in
Right.
first years, so it's quite
Very
difficult
good.
for the
Understood.
first year students to get remember. So need some
Right.
techniques to get remember.
Correct, correct. Right. So now the words which are very much difficult to remember. Okay. As I said in the first slide, mostly students learn by visualizing the things. Okay. And like the word you said, penny something. Okay. But it doesn't
Telicena.
have any telisena. Okay. Sorry. Telisena, whatever. Now this particular word have no visuals. Okay, I cannot make the student close their eyes and imagine there is a tennis sena in front of you. Okay, whatever the word is. Now, here comes the difficulty. When the word has no visual aspect in that, then it becomes difficult. So for that, you have what you can do is the very first thing you can chunk the words. Chunk the words. Okay, number one. For example, there is a word called air condition. Okay, what you can do, you can chunk the words like telisena, TELI, okay, TELI, then have a oblique in between, and then Sena, okay, and then make some joke out of this. Okay, there was a Teli, just I am making myself. There was Teli who is an oil seller, and he has a Sena. Okay, he has a Sena. He was a king. He has a Sena. Okay, so that oil seller has a Sena, Teli Sena, something like that. So you can
One
make something
liners.
about that. Sorry.
One liners, sir.
One liner, yes. You can make anything about that. You can just find some synonyms. Okay, for example, say any other word.
Umbilical officinalis.
Umbilical. Okay.
Yes.
Now, if I have to teach umbilical, okay, I will say, you know about Amitabh Bachchan who was marketing MB Valley. MB Valley is a place in Pune. Okay, MB Valley, Amitabh Bachchan, MB Valley, umbilical. Okay, so something you can connect umbilical, MB Valley, or maybe uh, like Amba Devi, something. So you can connect with some kind of personalities with that word, or maybe some kind of places with that word. So it will help the student to remember that word very, very nicely. If I can give me that some list of that word, definitely after some brainstorming, I can make some techniques out of that, and that will help you to remember those words to the student. Getting my point? So one is chunking the words, and second is connect that word with some similar name. That name could be of some personality, some places, or some stuff, ice cream or anything, and make a story of that words, one line story. Okay, that will help. That will really help. Okay,
So should I
and
give one
also
example?
yes, please.
Just like example is like pale केटाचू जो है सर, उसका
Uh,
biological source, उसका source है गंभीर, right, Ankeria Gambhir. So yeah, you
uh,
can have with the cricketer Gautam Gambhir.
right. Gautam Gambhir has a pale yellow. Pale means yellow, right? Okay, pale yellow. So you can just connect. Gautam Gambhir has this particular thing, yellow something. So whatever the word is, you can just connect that word with some personality, or with some places, or with some kind of stuffs. That will help the student to easily connect that word and always remember, right? uh, you won't believe, there was one student who came to me and he was learning disabled. Okay, what I use, I just tell you that you can also use this. And his father told me that we got diagnosed, and and he has a difficulty in remembering any spelling. So I said to his father, can you give me a single word which is very difficult for this child to remember? He was in 10th standard. So he said, any word you can ask. I said, big word is air condition. Can you think he can memorize air condition within 1 minute? His father says, not at all possible. He cannot do so. I asked the student, okay, can you just close your eyes? He closed his eyes. I asked him, just imagine in front of you, there is a white screen. Okay. And then I halted in between just to see if he is imagining or not. When he nodded his head, yes, I can imagine. I said, see, you have a blue color mark pen, and just go on the board and write AIR. Write as big as you can. Okay. And when you write it, just let me know you wrote it. He was closing his eyes. He wrote AIR. Okay. The first thing, you have to chunk down the big words. If I ask him to entirely write the air condition, he will not remember. Then I asked him, open the eyes now. He opened the eyes. Then I said, after AIR, what is the other three word? CON. Okay. Can you again close your eyes? Again close his eyes. Then I said, okay, can you see that AIR is still written? Yes, sir. Now, which color pen you want to use? He said, now red pen. Okay. Just go there where AIR is written and write CON. Okay. Similarly, he wrote the entire air condition word, and then I asked him to to spell the word from backwards. He spelled the word from backwards. His father was shocked. He said, I asked his father, can you spell your name backwards within 1 minute? So he was just laughing. I said, see, students are not learning disabled most of the time, but often we uh, we say a few words. We are very much premature in doing these assumptions. We have to use some techniques. There are a lot of scientific discovery among educational techniques and memory techniques. You can use those techniques to teach your student, to teach your child how if within 1 minute he has remembered the entire air condition. Okay. Then after we spoke something for half 20 minutes, then again I asked the student to close his eyes and I asked him to spell the air condition. He again spelled the air condition from the front and from the back also. Okay. So there are a lot of memory techniques. I think you can go on Amazon. You can find there is a book by Aditi Singhal, How to Memorize Everything. Okay. It has lot of scientific concepts. I think you can also find a help in your botanical concepts, how to make the student to memorize that. And you can also make your own. Once you understand the techniques, now you can make it your own also. Okay. So similarly, this helps. This helps. Once you start doing this, you can just see how the learning became more fun and fun. Okay. And when you brainstorm, when you brainstorm, definitely you have lot of concepts in mind. You need to just understand what the techniques discovered. Once you know the technique, you can make your own technique also. It is very quick, once you understand the entire how the things works on, how the brain learns and how the student learns, you can make your own technique also. You got the answer? Hello? The questioner, who was the questioner? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay. So you understood the one who is asking the question?
Might be, sir.
Okay.
There might be some issue to answer back, sir.
No issues, no issues. Okay, so that's what I mean. Be very much passionate about what you teach. Okay. If you are passionate, your emotion, your passionate feeling transfers to the student as well. If you feel disengaged with your subject, you cannot engage the student. Okay. Second thing. Now I'll teach you just some encourage and engage activities. Revision. Now, periodically, what you can do, like for example, you enter the class. You can say you did your lecture completed. Now at the end of the lecture, you can say, in the next week, I'm going to revise 3 subjects or 3 topics. And I want from the class, group A, make a group A student, this particular row, group B, this row, group C, this row. I want every group of you give me a topic. Okay. Let's say group A gave you X topic. Group B gave you Y topic, right on the board, right on the whiteboard. Group C gave you the Z topic, right on the board. Now you can say, okay, so next week on so and so date, we are going to revise this 3 particular topic that you suggested. Okay. Now, if for example, maybe on that day, if I come to the class, maybe I feel some kind of tiredness in my energy. So I will ask the group A to come here. Don't worry, don't worry. I'm not going to ask you. But let's say I'm too old professor now. Maybe I have some health issues on that day. So just get prepared. Maybe I ask you group A to come here and just explain that topic within 5-10 minutes. Okay. And to group B, don't worry, I'm not taking your text, group B. But still, let's say on that day, if something happens to me, if I'm not in a mood to teach you, or maybe I have just feeling a bit low, you can see I'm an old person now. I have to speak a lot. So if by chance I feel low energy, I ask you group B, anyone from you to come here on my when I'm standing and just explain this topic in 4 or 5 minutes. Okay. And similar, you can say to the group C also. Now, believe me, you have said, I'm not going to ask you, but let's say if I'm not feeling well, I will ask you. That will give a kind of confused thing to the student, and every one of them are going to learn that topic as much as they can, because maybe sir is going to ask me on that day to present this topic in 5 minutes. What I'm going to do? So this is one thing you can use, and believe me, the learning more happens when you teach something. When student come on the your place and explain that topic in 4 or 5 minutes, okay, that will help him a lot. And you have created an environment between the lecture. I mean, they are going to their places, their hostels or their home, and they have this in mind. On that day, revision is there. See topics sir is going to discuss, and sir is going to ask anyone to come on the stage and speak for 5 minutes. Okay, this gives them a engaged kind of mindset between the lectures. Okay, one thing you can do this. Second, you can do what? Sorry, you're getting the things.
Yes, sir.
Okay, give me a thumbs up. Anyone give me a thumbs up, please. Any question in the revision one? How to take revisions? When I was studying my psychology, there was a professor. Whoever comes late to the class, 2 minutes late, he have to go to his place where he was standing, that professor, and speak anything randomly for 10 minutes. Okay. So nobody, I mean, always all of the students are very much punctual on the time they're coming to the class. And it was a practice. If you are 2 minutes late, you have to be there and you have to speak something. This actually helps the student to retain the information also. And plus, the best thing it will do is increasing their public speaking confidence. 99% of the students, they lack confidence. They cannot speak in front of the people. So by this activity, you can engage them also in studies. Also, you are thereby increasing their confidence also. Okay. Second is acknowledge effort, not just results. Let's say you have actively participated students, okay, in some kind of activities, and they came in, they spoke about the topic, they made a lot of mistakes in explaining the topic. So never ever say you are wrong. Rather appreciate the effort they had put in learning the topic. Like you can say, that's interesting perspective. Let's explore it further. Instead of saying that's wrong, you are saying wrong. Never ever give that label to the student. Okay. When you appreciate their effort, not the result, they will put in more and more effort. Getting my point? And if you just see the result, like they explain the topic and they explain very wrong in a very wrong way, and you just did some wrong comment on them. You did it is very wrong, this is not the concept, this is not way you have to explain. So it will demotivate them. You have to appreciate their effort. Yeah, you had put effort, I understand very well. Now anyone else want to try this topic from group B? Okay, this will help the student to put their effort consistently whenever there is any kind of engagement activity from you. Number two is create a safe place for questions and mistakes. What is mean? You know, uh, often student, they feel very much like, how should I ask the question? What if I go wrong? What if the class makes a joke of me? अरे इसको इतना भी नहीं समझता है. Okay, he asks very dumb question. So you need to create a safe space for questions and mistakes. Okay, like in pharmacy, asking question and making mistakes here is better. You can say like this. In pharmacy class, asking question and making mistakes is better than making them in the real life with the patient, with the drugs. Okay, so just create a safe space whereby the students are very much motivated to ask question and leave a room for mistakes. You can tell them, just just speak up. Don't fear that if you make mistakes, what the others going to tell. The more you do all these activities, this is going to increase the learning also and engage the student, and they see you as a charming professor. Believe me, they will love you. Third thing that you can do is make learning purpose driven. Okay, now whatever the, like for example, you need to connect the topic to the real world pharmacy practice. For example, you need to say like the drug interaction you are learning today can save life tomorrow. Okay, see the word that I use. Hey student, the drug interaction that you are learning today will help, will save the life of the people tomorrow. Okay, so make your learning purpose driven. Give them a purpose. You have to tell them this pharmacy, this particular subject is not like selling a grocery, is something which is saving the life of the people. Okay, so give them some purpose why they are learning this curriculum, this subject, this topic. Give them a purpose, and always use positive reinforcement. What is that? You know, if you have heard about the motivation theory, people are often motivated with pleasure or pain. Okay, if if I see some pleasure, I will learn towards it, or if I see some pain, I will run away from this. Okay, like for example, for a child, a parents, often in Indian parents, what they do negative reinforcement. If you are if you are not going to school, I'm going to beat you. If you do this, I'm going to give you a punishment. That is negative reinforcement, and you are teaching not the child. Here are adult learners. The pharmacy student, I believe, maybe around age of 18, 20, 25, more than that, right? So there are adult learners. Any kind of negative reinforcement will not work out. Believe me. Always use positive reinforcement. Like, hey, simple, good job. That's great insight. That can boost their confidence. This is the culture of today Indian society. I had been a lecturer in a corporate. I had seen there lot of managers, they always reinforce negatively to the employees. There is a feedback from from the boss about you. You have to improve. You have to improve. You have to improve. And finally, I had seen employees, they go into anxiety and depression. Okay? So you need to positively reinforce them. Whenever they do a small thing, na, appreciate that. Recognize small wins. Okay, even if they participate in the assignment, if they deliver any assignment that you have gave to them, just appreciate them. Hey, Aisha, I appreciate that you have completed the assignment on time. These small words of yours, believe me, it works like a magic, because no one wants to listen bad about them. And if you want, if you can read the famous writer, if you the what his name was, um, how to influence people, how to make friends influence others. Okay, it was a famous book. In that book, he has explained very well different strategies how you can win friends and influence people. In the entire book, he has insisted to use all positive reinforcement. Okay, listen properly. Don't comment on don't comment on the people. Understand what they are saying. Okay, positive reinforcement will help the student to connect with you, and it also engage their learning. Next comes the interactive challenges. Now, you have a lot of topics, lot of subjects, like one is saying about botany, this and that. You can just make quizzes about quizzes and questions, MCQ, multiple choice questions about with your topics at the end of the lecture. And it's very easy, you know. Now there are a lot of tools available. You are expert in your subject. You can make some questions at the end of the lecture and just ask them. Now that I'm going to present some quizzes, some questionnaires, and then just you ask the question and give them choices. Okay, this also helps. If you go on use some chat GPT or something, you can divide, you can just write your topic, your subject, and make a questionnaire about from online tools also. There are a lot of tools available now to make questionnaires. So this uh, interactive challenges, okay, always give them problem solving exercises that will help the student to get engaged. Okay, and then rotate roles and responsibilities. What is this? You can assign, sorry, you can assign different students to lead discussions. Okay, today maybe you can make a group, like as I said in the initial, group A, group B, group C, and just assign roles and responsibilities. Okay, now this person is going to lead, summarize the key point, and this person will be a layman and will be asking the question. Okay, make a pharmacist, make a patient, do some role playing. This also helps for the student to actively learn what you are teaching. And very important, always foster a growth mindset. As I said in my first lecture, my uh, uh, entire focus was that you need to understand that student or any person, they some or the other time they are struggling, some kind of internal issues are going on. Always give them hope. Okay, if like as someone asks about the botany subject, okay, the words are very difficult to understand. You can say, hey, struggling with concept means your brain is learning, keep going. Okay, or don't label the student as a weak or low memory. Instead, just focus on strategies to improve. What I can do, what I can make to what I can develop the strategies or techniques that will make this concept easier. Okay, and if any student, despite of you being very much using lot of techniques, lot of strategies in making the student engagement, still some of the student you find they are not learning properly. Don't discourage them. You can understand them, what exactly going on with them. Okay, so always foster a growth mindset in your class. And it's very good, make your learning fun and relatable. You can use some jokes, stories. Okay, always just going there and just teaching about botany and pharmacology and those the very tricky concepts, people get bored. Someday you can just make some jokes, some humors. Okay, because it's a human tendency. We cannot learn. We need a break. Our mind needs a break. Okay, so use some fun activities also. Make us some jokes, give some kind of like anything that would be fun, like any fun you can make. Okay, ask someone to come on this come on the chair and ask them, hey, just share some joke between a pharmacist and a patient. Okay, anything, like as I said in my first lecture, that often teachers struggle a lot to engage the student, because I remember joke whereby a doctor asks a patient, do you often talk in sleep? The patient said, no sir, I don't talk in sleep, but I talk often when others are asleep because I'm a professor, right? So you can use some kind of this humor and joke in your lecture, which will be uh, which will help to regain their energy. And as I said, build one-to-one connection. If you find any student who are disengaged, personally check in. Hey, I notice Aisha, I notice Arun, you have been very quiet for since a week. Is there anything bothering you? That makes student feel seen and valued. Just have a visual eye on the student who is, who is showing some kind of hopeless behavior. Connect with them, okay? And the is encourage peer learning. See, often group learning helps the student to retain the knowledge very well. So you can encourage the student to foster collaborative learning instead of competition. Okay, like make four people group, five people group, and give them a topic or any topic, and ask them to prepare about that topic and come the next day. Okay, you need to ask a question, he needs to give an answer. So make some kind of group learning environment in your classroom. Okay, so these are some of the tips that you can use in your classroom, which will not only help the student engage, but also help them to gain their insight, inner confidence, self-esteem will be built on this particular techniques. Okay, give me a thumbs up. Any question till now?
So there's a question by
Yeah,
Amrut
please.
Bhandari. In most
Yes,
cases, when I announce test or seminar, maximum students remain absent. How should we approach?
very good. And very this very relatable question, very relatable. So here, the if it is repeating, okay, maximum students are repeating to remain absent, you can bring them in front. Okay, now here you can use the negative reinforcement also. For example, the school can make a rule, or you can make a rule. If a student without a valid reason remains absent on the test day, I think you also have some attendance criteria also, 75% something, right? You have or not?
Yes, sir.
You might have
Yes,
that, right?
yes. Yes, sir.
So you can say if one student gets absent on the test day, and explain them why I am conducting a test. It is not to punish you. Okay, I am conducting this test to teach you. Okay, make a positive environment before taking a test. Why this test has been taken, and what is going to be there in the test. Maybe they feel the test as a burden. So actually, why they remain absent, we need to understand. Very first thing, what is the experience they had when they are in the test and they didn't perform well. Maybe some kind of negative comments or some kind of things had been happened with them, that is coming in their behavior, not attending the test again. So first thing is to understand exactly what is the reason they are not attending, and before conducting any test, explain the test very easily. Okay, this is going to be the test, and my dear students, I'm not doing any competition, and this is not to test you and to punish you, but this is how the learning happens. Okay, give some positive notes on being attended in the class. Even after doing all this thing, if you find some of the students are not attending, then you can introduce some negative reinforcements thing, like you can say, if you don't attend without any valid reason, okay, then I'm going to make you absent for 5 days. This is of 6 days or whatever. Even after doing all those positive thing about the test, even they if they remain absent, then you can do something like this: 5 days you're going to remain absent. I will mark you as a absent for 5 days or whatever. So what actually I mean is, you need to just keep on beating around the bush to find what exactly is working. Okay. In your case, the very first thing is to find out the root cause, what makes that student remain absent. That is the root cause. Maybe you can before the test you can say, I know on 30th of March I am conducting a test, and out of these 60 students in my class, I know more than 20 will be absent. But dear student, can you please let me know the reason what makes you remain absent? Okay, then you can write some reason from your side only. Maybe you are fearing that I'm going to ask question about ask question in front of everyone to you. Maybe you are fearing this, you are fearing that, you are fearing that. Okay, so that will help them to come out to just blow out their fear. So it's tricky thing, I understand, but you need to find out the ways. Okay. Yes. Any other question?
No, sir.
Okay. Yes, some additional tips. Okay. When you come in the class, start with some interesting hook. Okay. As I said in the initial, also don't be very much robotic way. Hi, hello, same way, entering the class in the same way, teaching in the same style. No, start the class in some interesting hook. Like you can give some begin the class with some real life pharmacy dilemma, a case study, or a thought provoking question. Come up with some case study. There are thousands of information available on the Google. Your topic is like pharmacology, organic chemistry. Just make some case study. Like in my first lecture, I give you a case study. That's how the student struggles in the studies in pharma. Present the case study. Okay, this will hook the student up. Like for example, you can also ask some question. Let's say, uh, what would happen if a diabetic patient mistakenly took double insulin dose? Make some question. What will happen is if a diabetes patient has taken an insulin twice, what is going to happen? Okay, that will help the class to engage from the starting only. So begin your class with some kind of hooks, some kind of engaging activity. Any case study, any thought-provoking question, any real-life pharmacy cases, anything. Yes, anyone? I think there is. Can you can you mute yourself, Shushma? Yeah. Also, you can use some gaming techniques. Okay, as I said in the last, the fun techniques. Use some gaming techniques, some rapid fire questions that you see on the internet, Karan Johar and all. You can use some kind of these things to make that to make the learning very much fun. Okay, encourage active participation. Most of the time, what happens? We don't create environment of asking a question that I'm doing now. After every slide, I'm asking if you have any question. That gives active participation from the audience. So instead of just lecturing, ask, any one of you can relate this to a patient case? Okay. Now explain a drugs, and then say, can anyone in the class can explain how you will explain this information of drugs to a non-medical student or non-medical person? Okay. So this will actively participate them. Okay, yes, sir is going to ask a question now. Okay, be very much vigilant now. So when the student have this mindset that this particular professor, he does not keep on lecturing, he just halts in between. After 15 minutes, after 20 minutes, he turn out to anyone and asks any question. Believe me, the class will be fully engaged. Okay. And as I said in the last slide also, the types of learning style, mostly I had seen people learn through visuals. So if possible, You can use some PPTs, flowcharts, videos, some interactive models to simplify the complex concepts. Okay. And as I said last, give students a sense of purpose. Why they are learning pharmacy? Why we're learning this? Give a sense of purpose. As I said in the last lecture also, I found a student who was from the pharmacy background, and he had seen some YouTube video. Someone has is explaining how the pharmacy careers career is declining day by day. He saw that video, and that video had a huge impact on his mind, and he was seeing the future as a dark. Okay. So you need to always give the student a sense of purpose. See, money coming, money going, earning lakhs of rupees depends on lucks also. But my dear student, once you become a pharmacist, okay, you are in a position to save people life. So when you connect how this your particular subject or your curriculum, how it is very much related to a person's life, that give them a sense of purpose studying their curriculum or their whatever topic you're explaining to them. Okay, and always provide constructive feedback. Okay, never ever give a bad feedback. The feedback should always be constructive. Okay, as I said, if someone has did some assignment or did something, and the result is bit here and there, appreciate the process. You can say, hey, great thought process, but let's refine it by considering so and so. You have done very well in the assignment, dear Arun, but let's refine this. Can you just twist this concept a little bit like this? So here you are giving them a very constructive feedback by simply saying, this is wrong, do it again. Okay. This motivates the student. This demotivates the student. You know, your words, believe me, after mother and father, the professor and teachers are the one who from whom the students and the child learns a lot. And they see them as their ideal after their mother and father. So you are the ideal for the student. Okay. Always try to give them a constructive feedback which will help them to keep their motivation constant, because negative feedback I had seen in my life. I do lectures in colleges, in schools, and I do workshops. I had seen every relationship, maybe the professor or student, mother, father, husband, wife. If we often use negative feedback, that this that creates a kind of conflict among the individuals. Even if you're a husband, you're giving always negative feedback to the wife. You are a mother, you are always giving negative feedback to the child. You are a professor, you're giving negative feedback to the student. This will never ever going to enhance the learning. Rather, it will increase the conflict more and more. Okay. So always try to provide positive, constructive feedback, and incorporate storytelling. You know, people are often they remember the things in story. As I said in to one questioner, he makes some story about that. Connect these things with a story. When we do counseling, now I know what is depression, I know what is anxiety, I know what is stress, and I know that this person sitting in front of me, he is going through depression, and his main problem is this particular belief of his. But if I directly say, hey Arun, you know why you are in depression? Because you think like this. If I say like this is not going to help, because lot of people might have told him that's the same thing which I'm saying to him. So I make some stories. What I do, I just indirectly do that thing to the one who I'm counseling. I want to explain that this is the particular thought or belief that is actually giving you a depression, taking you inside depression. But directly saying that will people won't accept it. So if you do that, some kind of storytelling, some kind of things you can implement in your curriculum, that will help the person to remember the lesson memorable and relatable. Okay. Then allow flexibility in learning style. As I said earlier, not all are visual learners, not all are auditory learners. So don't get frustrated. If some student is not learning, maybe their learning style is not visual. Maybe they learn well by reading and writing. So always you need to allow flexibility in the learning styles. What happens in some of the schools and colleges I had seen, uh, professor has their own set of standards. Okay, I'm going to deliver the things in this way only. The assignment should be in this way only. But I believe try to be a bit flexible. When you introduce flexibility in your assignments and in the things, that will help the student to grasp the thing. Because maybe you are very much visual, they are not accepting visual learning. You can introduce auditory learning, you can make a group learning. So always be flexible in understanding the learning style of the student. Make your teaching concept quite a bit flexible, and encourage reflective thinking. Always after the class, you can ask, what is the one key takeaway from today's class that you will remember? At the end of the class, you can ask this question: what is the key takeaway from today's class, students, that you are going to remember? You can just spend 5 minutes on asking this question. This will help them. Maybe 45 minutes, 1 hour, your lecture is there. Okay, just a second. Give me 1 second. I need to just connect my battery. 1 second, huh, Tasleem, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have time, or we need to just finish now? Tasleem?
Hello, sir.
Yes. Okay, I'll
3:30.
go
3:30,
3:30.
sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, no
Yes.
issues, no issues,
Yes.
no issues. I'll just try to complete it very as early as possible. Okay. So, as I said, reflective thinking will help the student at the end of the lecture. You need to ask question which help the student to reflect what actually they have learned in the entire 1 hour, and ask a question based on that. Okay. And again, celebrate progress in small wins. Whatever the small thing they do, always celebrate that. I want everyone, just you can take a screenshot of this. You can just teach what are the negative beliefs often that hinder student learning. Okay, you can just take a screenshot. This I had seen often in the people whom I counsel. I'm weak, I'm vulnerable, I'm victim, I'm needy, I'm trapped, I'm out of control. You can teach these are the core negative beliefs which often hinder your success and growth. Just teaching this teaching this belief also will help them to understand, yes, I have this belief, I need to change this. Similarly, this is a belief about yourself. Similarly, often the people get belief about worlds and about others. This is a most negative core beliefs that often led the people into psychological problem. About the world, the world is dangerous, the world is not fair, life is too hard, things are stacked against me, the future is hopeless. About the people I love will always end up leaving, so and so. You can't count on people, people will always let you down. These are also are some negative core beliefs. If any student or anyone living by this belief, believe me, they are not going to make any progress uh, in any uh, sphere of their life, maybe study or anything. So when the student learn about this negative belief, it will help their confidence, academic performance, and they can learn these are the negative beliefs and I have to change this. So you can often teach about the negative core beliefs that hinder the success. Also, teach them reframing. Just you can simply see the slide. If the student is all most of the time having the thought, I am not smart enough for this subject, you can teach them reframing. Okay, teach them beliefs, and then teach them how you can reframe your thoughts. A person who is thinking I'm not enough smart enough for the subject, they can reframe their thought. Everyone learns at their own space. Intelligence grows with effort and practice. So reframing your thought, reframing your belief about the studies is something that you can introduce in your teaching. Okay, you can find on the Google there are a lot of negative core beliefs often Indian students are have, as I said in my first lecture, by which they are committing suicide. So you can teach them how to they can reframe their thoughts, how they can reframe their beliefs, identify their beliefs, and learn how this belief is actually making their life horrible. So reframing is also called as cognitive restructuring. You can teach the student how to reframe their thoughts. And also some kind of personal lives and managing studies things, like Eisenhower matrix. If you had heard about this, um, the task what is urgent and important, then the second one is urgent but not important, not urgent but important, not urgent not important. Teach them this matrix. You can use the 80-20 principle also. Teach them the time management. What is a good time to retain the knowledge? Most of the time the morning is the good time whereby they can retain the knowledge. Okay, 2 minutes rule. 2 minutes rule are like, if some task requires only 2 minutes, the psychology says do it on do it instantly. Okay, use the Pomodoro technique. This is very technique for focus. Often what happens, this the student take a book and keep on learn for hours and hours, and nothing goes in mind. So Pomodoro technique is something whereby every 25 minutes they can take a 5 minutes break. Then after 25 minutes they can take a 5 minute break. Pomodoro is also a app on Google Play. They can download that app also. You can teach them how actually the mind learns. Long hour studies, no benefit. Break down the studies, take 5 minutes break, 5 minutes break, 5 minutes break, then 20 minutes break. Teach them this life skills also. Also teach them how they can set boundaries and learn to say no. This is also something that I often teach to the student. Mostly with the girls, they cannot say no to anyone. Okay, and and then lot of relationship issues and this and that and abuse and a lot of things are happening. So teach them how they can set their boundaries, how they can learn to say no. Practice mindfulness, stress management techniques also they can inculcate in their studies. Often we as a human being, we cannot learn and learn and learn. We get exhausted. We do get negative thoughts, negative beliefs. So teach them some mindfulness techniques also. Maybe you can enter the class and for 2 minutes you can ask the student to close their eyes. Just close your eyes and just listen the sounds around you for 2 minutes. These 2 minutes, if they listen the sounds around them, they will it will completely bring their focus in the class. There are a lot of mindfulness techniques you can search on the Google. Start your class with the mindfulness exercise. Okay, and ensure proper sleep and nutrition to the student. How their sleep and their diet also affecting their studies, and keep a weekly reflection journal. If they are having some problems, also ask them to maintain a reflection journal to note down their thoughts, their feelings that I taught in the first lecture. This simple practice of reflection journal actually helps us understand where we want to improve, okay, and how we can maintain social and emotional well-being. So, what I'm trying to say in a conclusion, effective classroom strategies should take a holistic approach. Okay, it's not like just teaching some things. Ensuring that students are engaged not just academically but also emotionally and mentally. While active teaching methods and an engaging style capture the attention externally, it is equally important to address their internal struggles also. their negative beliefs, their fears, and their self doubt. So, internally and externally, if you take a holistic approach in your classroom management, then it will help the student in their growth and success. That's all from my side.
Any
If you have any
questions?
questions,
Participants, any questions? Unmute yourself and please ask.
yes, any questions, please. I would love to have questions because I was speaking for more than 1.5 hours. So your questions will make me feel yes, I had given something valuable. Please, 131 participants and teachers. If you are students, then I would expect a pin drop of silence. But teachers often speaks in the class, right? So I need few questions from you people, please. Yes, Taslim. Also, if you don't, if you don't want to speak, you can write your question in the chat box, and the moderator will help to read that for me. Yes, please. People are thinking, what should I ask? Right? Anything, any random question. If you face any difficulty in the classroom, you can just ask whatever the things you're facing. Anything.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, most of the time, students of diploma they are not attending the classes. So, what
Hmm.
strategy should be used to improve the attendance of the students?
Okay. So as I said, your good name, sorry,
Anaga Sarvajna.
Anaga. Yeah, Anaga. So as I said, the very first thing is to understand exactly why they are exhibiting such destructive behavior. They had spent money, their father and mother has spent money in taking that courses, and they're often missing the class. What is the reason behind that? Any reason you see any reason, or just lack of interest, or any reason you see?
We are continuously asking them why they were absent, but
Uh,
sometimes the students answer silly reasons.
okay.
When I
So
remain absent, you in front of class ask me that why you are absent. You should remain absent. Such silly answers they are giving or silly reasons they are giving, and that's why we are
mm,
facing a issue.
okay. So if it is happening more and more now, then definitely you need to have a list of that student and conduct a different class altogether. Call some psychologists, some mental health expert to address their challenges. Exactly why they're doing this. Okay. More often now, this concept has been adopted by many colleges and many schools. Like for example, if there are 50 students in 10 class, they often remain absent. So they conduct a different lecture altogether on that 50 student. I myself had delivered the lecture on those students. So you need to understand why they're doing this. Even after calling an external faculty, any psychologist, mental health expert, and teaching them, understanding what exactly is going on. Even after that, they are doing the same thing. Then you can call their parents. So what am I,
Okay.
my thing is, he uh, unless and until we don't know the root cause, we
Mm.
cannot address that, right?
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, one more
Yes.
question. How
Yeah.
should
Please.
we keep ourselves motivated for delivery of lectures every time, same pattern and routine of our work?
Right. Very good question. Actually, see, motivation is something. Um, I'll explain this. See, motivation is a feeling, but get this concept very clear. Motivation is a feeling, not a quality. Often people come to me and they say, sir, I want to be always motivated. I say, I cannot do this because you are a human being. Sometime you feel motivated, sometime you feel demotivated. Motivation is actually a feeling. Now, to bring this feeling of motivation, okay, as a human being, we are always running towards pleasure and avoiding pains. So you need to have what actually motivates you, list of your motivation. For example, uh, let's say you need to identify, if I sleep very well, I feel motivated. Okay. If I take a good breakfast, I feel motivated. If some student, if my students are engaged in my class, I feel motivated. So I have actually motivation scale, which I often assess each of my patient. Actually, what motivates you depends upon you. It's a subjective thing. Make a list of things that motivates you actually, and then try to uh, do that thing. Let's say if I get a good sleep, I feel motivated. Take a good sleep. If I do a good breakfast, I feel motivated. Take a good breakfast. If I go to the class and students say hi to me, I feel motivated. So do something so that the student can say hi to you. So it's a very subjective. What actually motivates me depends upon you,
Question.
and you have to understand that
Question.
and do something on that. Yeah.
Question.
Anyone else?
Sir, my question is,
Uh-huh.
if like we go in the class, but
Mm,
still student makes lots of distraction, they make noises, they just keep on murmuring something or the other, taking out some voices behind something or the
mm,
other. They keep on disturbing the people, the member who have gone for the uh,
mm,
teaching.
mhm.
So
Right.
what can be done?
See, the very first thing that you can do is change the seating arrangement. You
Okay.
go to the class. Hey, I want the back four benches to come forward, please. And I want the four benches in the middle to come this side. Just do this physical environmental change. Okay, just physical change in the sitting arrangements. That will actually helps a lot, because
Okay.
simply if you say keep quiet, no. And also, sorry, your name, your good name is?
इसको सुनते नहीं लगता वो
Okay. I think your name is, the questioner name is Taslim. No, sorry.
I So I asked the question.
Taslim asked the question. So
Yes, sir.
Taslim, here, two things is very important, Taslim.
Mm-hmm.
Your tone,
Mm-hmm.
your body language.
Mm-hmm.
Students should not take you for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Even I was in my school, uh, when I didn't know anything about psychology.
Mm-hmm.
There are some professors
Mm-hmm.
to whom we are very much taking for granted. When they come, we do a lot of mastis, mischiefs. And
Mm-hmm.
some teacher, like I remember my Marathi teacher, her name was Pushpa. When she enters the class now, the moment she enters the class, the entire class was like very much, I mean, disciplined. So it depends about how you enter the class, how you had made the your effect on the student. Your tone is very important. Your body language is very important. Let's you enter the class. Good morning, students. No. Hey, good morning, everyone. I want the fourth bench from backside to come forward, please. Aisha, please come front, come front. Okay. Your voice quality, tonality will shake them. And you please come this side. Arun, or maybe Sahil, there's two benches. Please come forward, sit here. Go there. Do this for 5 minutes and with a good tone of voice, a teacher's voice. Okay. You can see in every 2 3 days, if you do this now, the moment you enter, they have this feeling कि अभी तो यहाँ वहाँ कुछ होने वाला है. Okay. This will help definitely.
Okay, sir.
Anything else?
Anyone's having any question? Anything who wants to share about the 3-day faculty program? Anyone can share.
Yeah, please. 133 farmer
Sir,
teachers. Please.
Ganu sir have said that I extend my heartful gratitude to Mr. Aftab Siddiqui sir for sharing his valuable insight with us in FDP. Your knowledge and expertise have truly enriched understanding, and we appreciate the time and efforts you took to guide us. Thank you for inspiring session.
Thank you very much for your kind words. I really appreciate these words from you. Thank you very much. Anyone else, please? Okay.
Pratibha ma'am
So
is saying you explained very nicely. Definitely, it will help us in current situations. Thank you, sir.
thank you very much. I do often conduct a 2 days, 3 days program in colleges and schools on memory techniques and self-esteem and confidence, because these are the two things that often drives a student for for the studies. They need some technical strategies how to remember the things, and they need a motivation and confidence to learn. So there's a complete program that I do with the students often.
Okay, sir.
So however, no more questions.
Anyone's having any question, or do you want to express your gratitude towards 3D faculty program? Anyone, please take the
Anything, please.
initiative and speak.
So Pune people don't speak much, Taslim.
No, sir, it's not like that.
Okay.
We speak too much.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
No,
sir, it's
I
like
had I just last month I was in Pune. I had a two workshop there.
yeah,
So I often saw people, mostly women, they put that, I mean, they cover their face.
yeah.
Okay, so because of the climate, I think. So
Yes,
I
sir.
thought,
Because of the climate.
okay, so I thought maybe they don't speak more. That's why they're covering
No,
their
no,
face.
sir. No, sir.
Okay,
So once again, I really like to thank you, sir, as the today's session was really very good and helpful for the insights what you have given us to boost the students, appreciate the students, and finally solve the problems what the pharmacy teachers have been facing nowadays. Now, I request my colleague Aisha Farooq Sheikh to please deliver the vote of thanks. Uh, Sir, again, Amrut sir have given one. He have told that it's thank you, sir, for changing a perspective to our profession.
thank you very much for your words.
And people are telling such a nice session. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your words.
Valuable guidance and very informative session for the future. All people have been giving the chats on the chat box, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. As we come to the conclusion of this 3 days faculty development program on empowering farmer teachers, insight into student psychology, and effective classroom management, it is my great honor and privilege to express my gratitude on behalf of MCA Society Institute of Pharmacy. First and foremost, I extend my deepest gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Aftab Siddiqui sir, who shared their valuable insights, experience, and knowledge with us. Your session have been truly enlightening, equipping us with the practical strategies to better understand student psychology and enhance the classroom management. As you have discussed the different the strategies to make the effective classrooms, like the different sitting arrangement, learning styles, encourage and engaging strategies will definitely help us in future, and we will definitely implement it. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to our management, our principal sir, Dr. V.N. Jagtap, whose vision and guidance have been instrumental in making this FDP success. A huge round of appreciation goes to the organizing committee who have worked tirelessly behind the scene to ensure the smooth and execution of this event. Your dedication and teamwork have truly made this program a well coordinated and impactful experience. To all the participants, I extend my heartfelt thank you for active engagement, enthusiasm, and willingness to learn. As we conclude this FDP, I hope that the knowledge and the insight gained over these 3 days will empower us all to be more effective, empathetic, and innovative educators. Let us continue to inspire and uplift our students shaping a brighter future for pharmacy education. Once again, thank you all for being a part of this wonderful learning journey. Wishing you all success in your endeavors. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
With your due permission, we conclude that program is being come to an end. Thank you, participant. Thank you, Aftab sir. Thank you, everyone. Certificates will be soon sent within a week. So kindly have patience. No worries for the certificate. Thank you, everyone. Yes.